How do you get better at golf after having a lesson? Let's find out, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel, make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button, ring the notification bell if you do so wish, and that will send you a notification to your smartphone, to your tablet, to pretty much anywhere you want, every time I upload new content, so you won't miss a minute of what I'm putting up for you guys. So you've been for your golf lesson and this is the first time back on the golf course. You've forgotten a few things what your teacher said, but you've still got a few really good swing thoughts in there that you're going to try and bed in. This is the position I'm in now. If you've not seen my golf lesson with Chris Ryan Golf, I will link that above for you all to watch, and I will be making quite a few references to that in this video on how to get better at golf after a golf lesson. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to go see it. But long story short, for people who haven't got time to go and watch that, it is a great lesson and a great video, to be fair, so just go over there and watch it. But if you don't have time to watch it, basically we changed my setup, we changed a little bit of the technique. I'm using my hips a lot more on the way back. I feel like this left shoulder works more underneath, and that allows the club to be higher at the top, leading to a more aesthetic looking swing and hopefully in time more consistent golf shots. Now I'm in quite a lucky and unique position here that I've vlogged my lesson, so my lesson is live on YouTube for anyone who wants to watch, including me. So I get to go back, I get to go through the key points of the lesson, which Chris explained to me pretty well on the day. But for anyone out there who goes to lessons and struggles to remember what the coach tells them, I would either write them down straight away in the notes on your phone or on a pen and paper, or I would take a camera in with you and film a few bits of the lesson. I would personally have no problem with students doing that, and I think if a coach is confident on what he's telling you, they wouldn't have a problem either. So I'm out here on the course today. And I'm working on the game a little bit. I could be doing this on the range, but now I know exactly how all my pupils feel when you say, James, I don't want to go and spend hours on the range, I want to go and play golf. I play golf because I enjoy it. I play golf because it's a pastime. Yes, I want to get better at golf, and this is why I'm having lessons, but I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours building a swing. I want to do it on the golf course. So that's near enough what I'm doing here today. I've been teaching all day, I'm pretty tired, I've been on the range all day, I've not been on the golf course at all, and it's a lovely November's evening. It is 3:10, so I don't have a lot of daylight left, and I fancied coming out for a walk. So I'm coming out, I'm going to try and make it as productive as I can. I'll be making sure that my technique's right. I'm going to put the camera down the line on all the shots from now so you can see if there's any differences in the swing. And one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to get off with bad shots. I'm not going to worry about where the ball's going. All I'm worried about tonight is, can I get that technique as close to what Chris was after as possible? I feel like on those first two shots I did it pretty well. Part of the reason for me putting the camera behind me is so I can watch this vlog back and see how the progress is going. Clever that, isn't it? Now, one of the great parts about practicing out here on the golf course, especially when it's quiet, is I get to hit loads of different clubs. If I was on the range, no doubt I'd take a 9-iron to warm up, I'd take a 7-iron because that's the club I used in the lesson, and then I might take a driver to hit a few at the end. Being out here on the golf course means that I do hit different shots. I hit the shot that I have to hit, so then the technique has to back that up. It has to be able to perform when I want it to perform, with what I want it to perform with. Am I making sense? You see, in winters gone by, when I used to have a lot of lessons, and I did used to have a lot of lessons, I would be guilty of what a lot of you guys are guilty of at home. I'd go for the lesson and then I would practice. I would practice so hard at the driving range, on nice flat mats, with nice clean range balls, with my mates, and not a real target in sight. You see, being a YouTuber, feels weird saying that, I'm very, very lucky. I get to hit a lot of golf shots on the range, on the course, inside, in the studio, pretty much anywhere. And on the other hand, being a golf coach, I'm still very lucky because I see people in the position that I'm now in, people who are desperate to improve the golf. Well, I'm not desperate, but people who want to improve the golf. So like there, I've hit a good gapper off the tee and I'm left with 130 yards in, so I've hit a pitching wedge. As you can tell, the routine took a little bit longer than it would do normally, and I even stopped on the top of one of the backswings because I just knew it wasn't right. It wasn't what me and Chris were working on. Is that something you feel like you could do? Could you stop at the top of a swing if you don't feel like you've committed to the movement that you should be making? You may have noticed that I'm not putting out tonight. I've hit both those greens and just kicked the ball away. Putting isn't what I'm concentrating on tonight. Just because I'm out here on the golf course doesn't mean I have to keep score, doesn't mean I'm playing golf. This is a practice session. There's a lot of practice swings, there's a lot of shadow drills, there's a lot of ghost swings. There's a lot of swings where I might go to the top and I don't even know if that's a swing where I'm going to hit the ball. That might sound strange, but let me explain. If I come out here on a golf course and I give myself a target, you're never going to go and play golf, or you're never going to step onto a golf course and hit shots aimlessly like you might do on a driving range. And yes, you might be screaming down the camera at me, you might be saying, when I go on a range, I'm really strict with myself. I always give myself a target. I am always very good at practicing. And that's fantastic, but like the point I made right at the start of this video, I've had a long day coaching. And some of you might say that's not work. It is work. So then I want to get out and relax on the golf course. I don't want to do something what is seen as a chore, because practicing can be seen as a chore, can't it? And don't get me wrong, I do plan on practicing. I do plan on getting on the range, getting in the studio, doing some mirror work, filming it with the slow motion camera to see exactly how it's doing. But look at this lie here. You don't get that kind of lie on the practice area, do you? Strangely enough, I am hitting it pretty well tonight, and I am hitting quite a lot of my targets, fairways and greens. Does that mean to say that the change is embedded and it's a completely natural movement and it looks way better? Absolutely not, no. I've got absolutely no doubt when I upload this footage into my MacBook and start editing it, I'm going to be devastated with how much little progress I've made. Very rarely do you see massive changes from one lesson and one on-course practice session where you think, oh my god, that looks fantastic. In fact, guys, comment below, have you seen any changes tonight? Does it look exactly the same as it used to do? Or am I making progress with what me and Chris have been working on? One thing that's making me doubt myself a little bit is how well I'm striking the ball. It just seems very, very odd that I can put such a big change in my setup, a big change in the takeaway, change in the top of the backswing, straight into that golf swing, and strike the ball as well as I am doing. Usually I would expect it to feel so different at the top of the backswing that I'll be stopping to ask directions on the way down. And that is another green hit. Okay, maybe it's not a green hit, but this is a par 5, so that's a green hit. A few little tips for you guys if you are planning on practicing out on the golf course after a lesson. First tip, don't expect too much. I'm not expecting anything from tonight, it just happens to be that it's going well, I'm striking the ball pretty well, I'm hitting some targets. Second point, don't use expensive golf balls. I'm using golf balls that I've found throughout the summer, and I've saved them just for something like this, where I know I'm going to hit bad shots, I know I'm probably going to lose a few golf balls, and it's not going to cost me a small fortune in said golf balls. You see, like now, I'm going to do the drill that Chris gave me where I take it up to the top of the backswing, I feel where it is, I feel if it's right, I feel if it's wrong, I have that slight pause and then I go and hit it. Obviously that didn't go well, I even lost the balance afterwards. The ball didn't go too bad so I didn't lose it, but this is proper practice. This is similar to what I would be doing on the driving range. And you see, this is where the enjoyment factor comes in for being on the golf course. I can now just hit a golf shot, still thinking about the changes I'm trying to make, but at a target out here on a course on a lovely wintry evening. Couldn't do that on a driving range. I'd be bored by now. Who here's similar to me? Who here enjoys being on a golf course? I mean, don't get me wrong, I have had times where I can spend hours on a driving range, I can put some music in and just kind of disappear a little bit. But when you've had a long day, there's nothing quite like getting out here, giving the leaves a good kick and taking in the atmosphere of doing what we love, being on a golf course. And there you have the two differences between the drill swing and the fun swing. With some of the changes I'm making being in the setup, it's imperative to be able to do it with different clubs. So here I've got a really short chip shot, but I know that I need to get a consistency in how I'm standing now because it's a complete change from how I used to stand to that golf ball. So even practicing my stance over chip shots is going to be helping me in the long term. That felt pretty good as well. The hardest club to get this new stance with is definitely the driver, so it's going to take some time with that. But it boils down to, would I rather be spending time drilling it in on the range, more of a militant way of going around it, or still being strict with myself, would I rather be out here on the golf course? I guess this video shows you the answer to that, doesn't it? That felt the worst swing of the bunch tonight. Going to be really interesting to see when I watch this back just how it looked. I've got a feeling it looked bad. But then for anyone out there who is having lessons, Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't expect things to change overnight. It's going to take for me hours and hours and hours of practice, both on here and on the range and probably in the studio in winter, for these changes to look anything like I want them to look like and anything like I want them to perform like. Although I have taken some real positives tonight just in some of the shots that I have been hitting. So if you are having lessons yourself and you are struggling getting on the range, you want to be out here on the golf course, I really hope this video has helped you and I hope it's given you a little bit of inspiration. As to how you can get out here on the golf course, improve your game after having a lesson, still keep it productive whilst enjoying yourself, whilst spending time out here exactly where you want to be, exactly where you enjoy yourself, what you pay your membership fees for or your green fees for, what you buy your clubs for. We're on the golf course. Guys, I've been James Robinson, I'm here at Huddersfield Golf Club. That was a quick insight into my first practice session after my lesson with Chris Ryan Golf. If you've not seen that video, a lot of the things that I say in this video will make more sense, so I have linked it throughout. If you haven't done already, make sure you hit those comments below and let me know, where do you like to practice? On the range, on the course, in a studio? Put the thumbs up if you've enjoyed that video and make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you soon. It's a good job we finished there because that ball has just gone deep into there. Good job it was a practice ball. See you soon.